Hi guys, just wanted to take a moment to thank our Patreon producers for this episode, including our new Patreon producer, Nick Ray, as well as Robert Nieder. Nick Ray or Rie? I am hoping I'm getting it right. Nick, you'll have to let me know which way it is. But anyway, Nick's our new producer, along with the ever-present and always helpful Robert. I wanted to thank both you guys, and also special thanks to those of you who are part of our Pen Pal program, folks that come and do the Hangouts, really everyone who supports the show financially and through subscription and just by word of mouth and encouraging letters and all the rest. Thanks, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Pockets Full of Soup. I'm your host, Jared Petty, joined today by the illustrious,
Hello.
the bearded, the tall.
Yes. You forgot handsome and humble.
Handsome and humble Kyle O'Connor.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm really nervous. I don't know what to do with anything.
Well, you just, it's like the Ricky Bobby thing. Just like, I don't know what to do with my hands. Yeah.
Like, I'm focusing on so much right now. I got to keep my posture good. Got to keep the mic over here and, like, turn and look at you. Hopefully I'm doing a good job. They'll tell me in the comments. Please be nice.
So, Kyle, you're my friend.
Yes,
but
I am.
Where might people know you from that don't know you and I directly?
Oh, man. IGN. A lot of stuff on IGN. A lot of streams. I do also the social media.
Okay.
I manage IGN social media team. So if you see anything silly on IGN social media, it's probably directed by me. If you see
some of those dank memes,
super dank memes, yeah, it's directed by me.
First and last time you will ever hear me use the word dank outside of something with mildew on it.
You'll see me on anything to do with esports at IGN, pretty much.
Okay.
If you ever see IGN's Facebook page or Twitter respond to people, it's about a 95%.
You're the one responding.
Me,
yeah.
All
right, that's true.
Yep, that'll be me. So
that's where folks might know you from,
yes.
And I think that's going to come into play here in a minute. But
yes.
First, we want to thank our Patreon producers, Xavier Saint-Amand Tremblay and Robert Nieder.
That's awesome. That's really nice. You nailed that last name, I think.
Did I? Robert Nieder?
No,
Xavier Saint-Amand Tremblay.
That's really good.
Well, they're our Patreon producers, and without them, the show would be much, much harder to do.
That's
so
awesome.
We're always want to thank them
nice
during
people,
every show.
kind people.
They are kind people, and as well as a lot of the rest of our audience. This is an audience of kind people.
Yeah, I got that vibe. I have yet to watch the full episode. I've watched a couple. I know I'm terrible, but at least I'm being upfront, right? And I was looking at the comments, and all the comments were amazing. And I spend a ton of time on social media.
No, so you didn't watch the episode, but you read the comments?
Always.
I guess that's your job.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it gives me a vibe for the community. Like, what's the most upvoted thing? If that's upvoted, then that's probably a good reflection of what the community is encouraging.
Okay.
And it was good.
Let's go down there. And I always start with the same first question until I decide to change it.
Perfect.
And that's simple. Tell me about somebody you're thankful for.
Somebody. So, when you first asked me this for the show, you gave me a little prep.
Yeah. It's about 3 weeks ago.
I went through my head, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm thankful. I am pretty thankful for a lot of people." I went through my parents. Was thinking my girlfriend as well. My girlfriend's awesome. My parents are awesome. They're super strong, good role models. I thought of even you, Jared, because you are one of the reasons why I got transferred over to the editorial team. Remember, we had that conversation at
I
BLS.
do remember that. Yeah.
And I was thinking of that, and then I decided I actually wanted to go with, just to tell everyone I'm super thankful for all these positive people that are in the community and are just around IGN, around you, around your comment section.
So you're casting a pretty wide net here. Let's rein it in a little bit. Okay. You're saying like positive people on the internet?
Yeah, super thankful for those. There's especially in my role, there's so much. Oh man, I'm just like this.
So wait a minute here. I could be like, give me one person you're going to thank, and you're like, no, I'm going to thank all the positive people on the internet.
Yeah, those guys don't get enough reward. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to allow it.
Fight me about it.
This is a rules violation, but I'm going to allow it.
Yeah.
Positive people on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, it's like talking about a unicorn.
Yeah, well,
I'm thankful for unicorns.
No, I think that anybody who's been to our forums or our Facebook group knows that that's far from true. There are a lot of positive people out there, and they exist in many, many communities.
Yes.
But I'm really interested in why you chose this, because you just talked about some very personal people, your girlfriend, your parents.
Yeah.
And then you chose a group of people, most of whom you will never see, you will never speak with, you will never shake their hand, you will never hug them, you will never meet them in real life.
I would love to do all that stuff. These are people
who you'd love to, but most of them you probably never will.
Yeah.
And yet they've deeply affected you, and that's going to be my first question. Why choose those people who you may never even see as folks you're truly thankful for?
So in my job, what I do, basically I'm the front line on the social media front for IGN. In between, I'm making it sound way more glamorous than it really is, but in between like the editors and people on the internet that follow IGN, and there are so many hateful, toxic people on the internet, and there's a lot of vitriol pointed at IGN for a lot of ridiculous reasons. So after dealing with that so much and like getting to experience that and see it and having to dive in it every day and like moderate and filter that stuff out, you really start to appreciate people who are like, oh, hey, I just really liked this. Thank you for doing this, and I wanted to tell you I like it. And it's just like, it's true for any feedback. Like I've worked customer service jobs or, retail. And when you do your job right, no one's going to notice. No one's going to thank you. But the moment anything goes wrong, someone's going to, start a picket line to protest what's going on. And so when someone takes a minute out of their day to be positive on the internet, it's like a tall glass of cool water for a really thirsty man. Like it's such a relieving feeling.
Can you tell me about a particular time when you were maybe dealing with something that was a time that you were feeling extraordinarily discouraged or frustrated, that someone's comment or someone's interaction with you changed how you felt?
So this one was actually in person, which I don't know if I'm breaking the rules even more.
Let's find out.
So it was a really big super fan. Actually, his family reached out via the internet, Twitter and stuff, and eventually got a hold of Pear, Kirsten, myself, and asked for a tour. I don't know if you were in the office when you met him, and this was this kid, and I think he was about 12 years old, and I was in such a dark spot at the time. There were so many people there was like a bunch of people angry at IGN over some reason.
So you're talking about community stuff.
Yes, yeah.
So you're folks on the internet, and there was a lot, and you were at the epicenter of a lot of vitriol. At this point?
I mean, it's not all personally directed at me, but I take it personally. Like it's like a lot of it's my friends or people I know, and they're like, "Oh, you were paid off." I was like, "I've been to that guy's apartment. He is not paid off. Like you are out of your mind if you think they're paid off." And so, like, really dark place. And then this family reached out and it's like, "Hey, it's our kid's birthday. He really wants to come see the office. Can we bring him in for a tour?" And eventually, I'd forgotten about it. And the day comes where they come for a tour. And I meet this kid. And he's just this little ball of happiness and energy. And he's just so stoked to be in the office. He's so happy just to be just in the environment that IGN is. He's, like, excited to see everyone. I took him to meet, like, the guys from Beyond. And he literally just was like, and froze, and then started like running in place. And he was so excited about it, and it was infectious. And his family was smiling, his sister was smiling. It made everyone in the office smile.
And this was somebody who you had never met until that day.
Somebody that was my
reached
first
out
interaction.
from office. Have you talked to this person or his family since?
Yes, yeah. They were so appreciative. Everyone in the office was like, "Oh man, can you bring him in every day? Like, it's great." So. Afterwards, the mother reached out to me, and they said that he had the little kid's name was Io.
Okay.
It was a shortened version. I forget.
That's okay.
I can't pronounce the longer name.
Yeah.
Wonderful family, wonderful kid, and they reach out and it's like, Io tells us all the time that thank you for the experience. He's been beaming ever since. Io tells us all the time that in your podcast you mentioned Merrigan's. And they're like, yeah, you guys talk about getting Merrigan subs, and as a thank you, we want to buy Merrigans for the office. Yeah. And I was like, whoa. And anyone who's listening, like, Merrigans are like $15, $16 subs.
Yeah, Merrigan's is across the street from IGN, and they have the most expensive sandwiches on the planet Earth.
Yeah, I've ever eaten. They're great. They're really good.
I think the food's really good. I think I've eaten there twice because I can't afford it.
Yeah,
but
clearly we're paid off by big Merrigans here.
Eat a
Merrigan.
But
this message brought to you by Merrigan.
Actually, I go over to Merrigan's for one main reason. Let's say if they have cheer wine in a glass bottle over there, and if you don't know what cheer wine is, that is the gem of Salisbury, North Carolina. Let me tell you, ooh, especially in a glass bottle.
I feel like we've spoken about cheer wine.
We probably have. But going back to this, so this young man, his family come, he's excited. How does this affect you? How does this change you? What's this do to your day?
It's like it recharged my battery. Like I was so reinvigorated. Like that's the reason we do a lot of what we do. Is like the stuff we do, the content we create. Like man, we'll post a video and it's just like, sometimes it'll be like, this is shit, paid off, why people still play this game, blah, blah, blah. And then you're just like, oh, okay, well, like, someone took 3-4 hours of their day, like, putting this was art for them.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting at your keyboard trashing stuff on the internet, and then this little kid who was just a name on an email or on the name on the internet was just like, comes in, and he's so genuinely enthusiastic and just so excited to be in the office and meet everyone and just to be able to talk with me about video games. And his family's like, he tries to talk to us about it, and we try our best, but we don't know it. We don't know everything. And to see that this is a genuine career for him and that this is a potential, he's not wasting his time, and that there's young, motivated people doing it as well, like, it gives us hope and faith. And it was just such a both, like, mental and physical and spiritual recharging session.
What about let's go back with you for a second. I want to ask you something. So right now you work in social media. You deal a lot. You talk constantly about comment sections and
Yes.
meeting people. Do you remember when you first, personally, outside of our organization, outside of anything, when you, Kyle, the young man, began to engage in internet communities?
Oh, and yeah,
Okay.
totally, yeah.
Can you tell us the story? Where did you start? Like, do you remember the first place you ever commented?
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, sorry. I got a couple. So it probably, for the first time I got really, really involved in the community was with the World of Warcraft community.
Okay.
I played so much WoW. I talk on every podcast. I always bring up WoW somehow.
That's okay.
I got involved on my realm, and the realm I was on was Oldham. I was on the Alliance side because I wanted to play a paladin.
About how long ago was this?
No, this is right when WoW came out, so 2006.
Okay, so way back.
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe
all
even
right. Back at the
2005.
beginning.
I don't remember, or did it come out in 2004? My God,
I don't remember.
I'm not that old, but I'm feeling old. So I start playing, and I get really involved in it. I'm having a great time. I'm on the line side on Oldham, and the expansion comes out, and I get really involved in the forums, and I start talking on the forums with people.
Okay, so you started as a forum guy.
Yeah.
What was your
forum
handle?
guy. It was just my paladin's name. So my paladin's name was Glorian, Glorian.
Okay.
And that was just I was so proud of that name because it's such a paladin name, and I was a ret paladin. I was going to go out and I was going to fight.
So you were Glorian. Are you still Glorian?
I still have that handle, but my paladin's name is Substance now.
Your paladin's name is Substance, but
Yeah.
you still use Glorian as your handle on other services?
Yeah. Well, I sometimes usually Substance. My BattleNet tag is Substance, and I go with Substance because that was my rogue's name. Whenever I
So you started hopping on forums.
Yes.
When you first began engaging, were you a positive engager, or were you?
I was
a
positive.
critical
Yeah.
engager?
I wasn't. Well, I feel like I was. I mean, I'm thinking back, but I wasn't like going out and being hateful. But I did engage with trolls. I was like, "You're being stupid," blah. I didn't understand that they were just doing it for the hateful reason. But I was mostly positive. I would do a lot of PvP. I would talk shit when I was PvPing, like player versus player. Like,
Yeah.
oh, well, blah blah blah.
But did you ever say anything you regretted because somebody made you angry or baited you?
Oh, I've said things I've regretted on the internet, but not specifically in the WoW forums. Not that I can remember. No.
So WoW was the first community.
Yes, and then
where'd you
bodybuilding.com as well.
Okay, bodybuilding. Talk about this, please.
The MISC section.
I don't know what that means.
MISC, miscellaneous section of bodybuilding.com. It's one of the biggest forums on the internet. That is both simultaneously the most beautiful and most disgusting place on the internet.
Okay.
I really like it.
What makes it that?
Just the types of jokes that get bumped up. I really like bodybuilding.com and the MISC because they can be really supportive. It's a really nice community when it wants to be. I haven't gone on there. God, was it 2016 now? It's probably about 8 years, but
wow.
I was really into it. Like, everyone's super supportive. Like, they're always like, we're all going to get there. We're all going to reach our goals.
Now, I'll just take that in. What about the part where you said the simultaneously something to the effect of, I'm paraphrasing, of the best and the worst? What's the other end of it? Where was the negativity?
If it's a meme that might be at someone else's expense, like that'll get elevated, because it's funny. Or
so it can be cruel?
It can be cruel. Oh, yeah, it can be really cruel. Just like any form, mob mentality, like, oh, this is really funny because it's done in a group and we all think it's really good. And then you'll think the meme will die and then it'll pop back up. And then
That's interesting. You said a mob mentality. Do you feel like a mob mentality is responsible for negativity on the internet?
No, it's the anonymity. It's the no one will know who I am. I can do this, and there's no repercussions for how shitty I'm being. I'm not dealing with an actual person on the other end. I'm just dealing with someone on a screen.
Do you feel like it's depersonalized?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. You were talking about meeting this young man in person, like somebody on the internet, and he literally like reversed your perspective on your week at that point. It's like you went from terrible to energized.
Yes. Yeah.
I did that because you met this real person.
Yes.
Do you feel like there's any inclination in people who's being negative on the internet to ever, do you feel like they would want to see someone suffer on the other side when they're doing that? I mean, do you think anybody ever stops and thinks, I hope I'm hurting that person? Yeah.
The worst of the worst. I think so. Like, I do believe it's like 85% of them. It's, screaming into the void, hoping for, a sound back. They want the attention. But I do believe there's a not negligible amount of people that are like genuinely hope they upset the people under there.
Why do you think that is?
It's in regards to IGN, it's kind of like, I mean, I might not be doing it justice when I word it this way, but it's like you really want to hurt the person on the ivory tower. You really you're up there, you're doing what I want to do. I'm mad at you about it because I think I could do it better. I want to hurt you for it. Like, oh, you made this minuscule mistake while you were doing your fourth take of this Let's Play. I could have done that better on my couch. Like, they really.
So you feel like it's a jealousy thing?
Oh, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say like, oh, it's just because they're jealous. It might be a little jealousy. It might be bitterness, but I think it's like I want to take a pot shot at the guy on the podium, sort of thing.
Okay.
The tallest tree gets the most wind. The tallest blade of grass gets the blade first.
Let me ask you another question because I don't want to overdwell. That you said at the beginning of this, you're talking about the positive people on the internet.
Yes. Yeah.
What about a situation where someone says something that is reprehensible?
Yeah.
And then people come after them negatively from that. I'm thinking specifically. I think you probably read the story about the lady that got on the plane right before she gets on, makes a remark that was terribly racially insensitive, takes off, lands 12 hours later, and finds that her Twitter feed is full of thousands and thousands of angry.
Oh yeah,
that kind of situation.
Brigading. Yeah.
Right. What do you think about brigading? And in your experience, how have you seen that? How have you seen that played out?
Have you?
Have you?
Oh yeah. I've been brigaded. It's a really shitty feeling. Because so what usually happens is someone with a following gets a hold of whatever it is, whether it's a white knighting brigade or like a troll brigade or however you want to put it, and someone with a big following says, I don't like this. And then all of their fans are like, well, we don't like this either. And then it becomes a dogpiling effect where the fans want to get more and more severe because of that. This is my theory. They want to, let's say they're mad about it. Someone's like, hey, you're dumb. And then they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. They get no attention. So they want to get more and more severe so that whatever person they're following that elevated it will interact with them because they're being so extreme about it. So,
okay.
That's why everything on YouTube it's such a hyperbole. It's like, oh, the cringiest thing ever. This is shit. This is that. Like, it's got to be the most extreme because that's what no one really, like, most people won't interact with a moderate comment. Like, oh, this mildly disappointed me. And you're like, oh, yeah. This did mildly disappoint me. I agree with you. Good job, reasonable person. They always want to be like, this is the shittiest thing ever to be shit out of some shit.
So.
Yes.
Talking about the people you're grateful for, the people you're thankful for, the positive people on the internet, give me some examples of ways they have engaged negative comments, brigading. How do they turn these situations around?
So the best example I can think of, and I do this with IGN's platform and with that, is someone will say something negative. Like, I engage with the positive and the negative comments, especially as IGN and myself.
That's part of your job.
It's part of my job. And so, for let's say for a negative comment, someone will say like, this is crap, whatever. Or a lot of times, this one specific, I'll think of a specific example. We will release, a couple minutes of a movie, and I'd be like, oh, I've seen the whole movie now, blah blah blah. This is shit, IGN. What are you doing? And then I'll respond and be like, no, you haven't. Simple response. You haven't seen the whole movie, and they're like, oh, well, and everyone's like, well, like this is their job, and they'll start talking, and then the guy like de-escalates. And I'm actually, from my previous job, I'm trained in the de-escalation of
Sure.
people, and they'll de-escalate, and they'll start getting more reasonable, and then they'll calm down, and usually it turns into 9 times out of 10, it's like, oh, I'm sorry.
No, sure. Now, that's something you've done. I mean, I've watched you do this again and again in a few situations. So what about something somebody else has done that you've seen?
I've seen when the positive comments will engage with other positive comments and make that like the top thread in a conversation.
Okay.
Or they'll elevate that. It happens on the internet where like I will get brigaded or someone will be really bad to me, and then a group of positive people will be like, hey, ignore it. It's okay. They're just being terrible, blah, blah, blah. That really, really helps. A specific community I can think of that's really, really positive, and I'm really grateful that I have a small following of them. And I don't say I have a following like I'm a big deal, but like a small group of them follow me and I follow them back. It's the Kind of Funny community. Really, really wonderful people.
They're incredible.
Amazing. Like I want to name them, but there's so many of them that if I forget them, I'm going to feel really bad. But it's like Joey Noel, Amy Gilroy, Trevor Starkey, all these guys.
Oh, there are thousands. This gets very long.
Yeah, it's a huge long list, and I know I've forgotten people, and I'm sorry if I have, but they're wonderful, and they're just so, like, anytime I see a message from them, I'm like, oh, this is great. Okay, this will be a good time. They're never going to be like, Kyle, you're really stupid, or this is really dumb, this was a repost. It's always going to be nice and positive.
So tell me, Kyle, these people you're so grateful for, why does it matter? Why do these distant people sitting at their computers all over the world matter enough that you've built a career around it and that you're taking your opportunity to thank anybody in the world to thank them?
It makes a difference. Like, these people that are nice and are reasonable on the internet, like even the people that are disagreeing, like people are like, but they're disagreeing in a reasonable way, and they're just like, it's not this extreme, like, this is shit. Like, the people that are just nice, like, they don't get rewarded enough. They sink to the bottom in the void, and then they'll eventually turn into this toxic troll. Like, it matters. Like, it really matters. Like, you may not feel like when you're saying this stuff to this brand that it matters, but there is a person on the other end of this Twitter, Instagram, Facebook that is reading all this stuff and, saying a nice thing, saying, oh, thank you for this. I really like this. Oh, I appreciated this. I didn't know this. This was really nice. Like, that matters if to no one else, to that one person reading it.
I know you've been in a long relationship now, but before that, were you ever a Tinder dater?
No. No.
Or any online dating service?
I had a small, I think, a long time ago, what was it? OkCupid.
OkCupid, all right.
Fish, things like that, long time ago, but I wasn't too into it.
Okay, I wondered. In those services, I've often wondered what I've been married since the beginning of time. I'm not out there looking for someone to date at the moment. What you look for trying to find a kind or genuine person through that. If you had any experiences around that?
Trying to find a kind, genuine person. I mean, like, almost immediately when those conversations would start on a dating app or in that, you could tell, like, what their priorities were.
How could you tell?
For me, it was the way the conversations were, even down to grammar and sentence structure and how much they use the acronyms and abbreviations. Like, I'm not.
Now I'm intrigued. Abbreviations? That's what?
JK, LOL, Bay, like all these like what's it? Internet shorthand would probably be better. But what the conversation devolves to, like, as someone who just only wants to be banging the whole time, like, the conversation, if they're just looking for the deed, like, the conversation's very, very quickly gonna go to that topic.
That,
like,
you found that? That
was
the case?
Yeah.
So what about, did you ever meet any really nice people this way?
Yeah, I've met some nice people on, like, so I didn't use them extensively, but I've met some nice people on forums, I want to say dating apps because that's what we're talking about, but I know no one I've like extensively had conversations with. But like, I have people I've met in video games and on forums and on social media that I'm still friends with to this day. Like,
that's marvelous. Really,
I have friends from WoW that when I was 15, 16 playing video games with, I'm still friends with them. Like, I am on a group message text chain with them right now.
Right now.
Like,
and you guys are still communicating, still close. Have you ever met in real life?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
What was it like?
It was great. It was awesome. Like, Oh man, it's awesome. Like, big shout out to a lot of my friends. Like, they were my old WoW buddies. And they have real names, but I call them by all their WoW handles. So,
Okay.
So they'll call me Glorian, and I'll call, like, one of them's Falk, Falka, like DJ. His name was DJ.
Does that make going out for drinks really weird?
No, I don't give a shit. I'll call. Falk, Falk, you want a drink? DJ, you want a drink? Yeah, it was great. Like, I went up and met them when I was living in Bakersfield. I drove up to down to LA, the LA area, and, like, went and had some drinks, ate some food, chatted, BS. It was great.
That's lovely.
Yeah. I also saw one of them when we went down to E3 this year.
Oh, no kidding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. It's always been good. Like, it's crazy when you try and describe internet friendships to people that don't spend a lot of time gaming on the internet, because it's like...
Well, let me ask you this. What person you met on the internet, what one person you met on the internet, through the internet, matters most to you today?
Oh, man, you're throwing me under the bus right now.
Yeah. Somebody you met through the internet that has become vitally important to you. And you're always afraid of leaving people out. He's not leaving you out. I just need to...
No, I'm going through, like, I had a friend I played a lot of video games that killed himself, committed suicide. I think of him very, very frequently. We didn't play extensively together, but he's still a wonderful dude. I think of him. I think that would matter.
Did you guys ever meet face to face?
We didn't meet face to face, but it was just a really nice guy.
How did you find out about his suicide?
He wrote a note on the forum about it, that it was going to happen, and then people, like, freaked out and sent it, and it was confirmed by I'll go into details, but one of the game masters in the game was able to look at his personal info from the forum account and went deeper and contacted the police there, and then police went and found him and confirmed it. Yeah.
By the time he posted it on the forum, it was already over. Yeah. So you weren't able to stop it. How long did you guys know each other?
I mean, we were playing for he and I probably played together for about a year and a half, 2 years. That's not long in the grand scheme of things, but it was like...
It's a long time.
Until he ended up taking his life.
What was that like for you and for the community that was friends?
We were all super, super, super duper really upset about it. Yeah, it was bad.
I can't even fathom that.
Yeah, because it's like... When you try and describe internet friendships to people, like, especially if you're, oh man, I guarantee you there's people watching that have MMO friends, and it's like, it's not just a text person on the screen. Like, you usually use voice services, Ventrilo, Skype, Discord, Curse. Like, there's so many options. TeamSpeak, Mumble, and if you play a game like WoW, you're playing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
I'm 13, 14, no, and
26 hours a day.
I know. I play 2 computers at once, and you're sitting there with this headset on, talking to this person for 7, 8 hours a day, and you get to know them. You talk to them, like, these guys I'm on the text message thread with. Like, it's probably that group of guys that are the most important to me on the internet. You get, like, you go through girlfriends and relationships and schools and moving, and, like, my one buddy who we met, and he was just the drummer and a very religious, wonderful dude. I'm not religious myself, and we used to talk in depth about it, and we met when he was just drumming in his church group band, and now he has 2 kids, and he has a house in South Carolina, and we still play video games together.
Yeah.
It goes from us drinking beer and doing Battlegrounds, and then... now we're playing Overwatch, and I can hear him talking to his kid in the background.
Yeah.
And it's this adorable little voice, and he's talking like a dad, and it's such a growth period.
How much of it in these situations, after a point, how much of it is the game and how much of it's the friendship?
It's totally the friendship.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 100%. Like, we will all get on a game if there's, like, 1 or 2 people are playing, and, so Overwatch. I'll use Overwatch as an example. I was playing in the alpha. It came out, and 1 or 2 of us were like, "Hey, we're playing. Are you playing?" Mm-hmm. And then because 2, 3 of us were there, then more people joined in, and then more people, and so now I have a crew of like 10 or 12 people that'll be on at once, and we have to like rotate whether they're in the group, and we have a Discord server just for us. It's definitely the friendship. Like, if we're all playing a game together, more of us will join that game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, because it becomes a way to... Do you think you'll continue communicating with people this way for the rest of your life? When you are 65 years old and you're we dream of a world with retirement.
Yeah.
But when you're 65 years old and and working your 4 part-time jobs and but
still paying off my student loans,
your student loans, and desperate for health insurance.
Yes.
Will you still communicate with friends?
Totally. I dream of the day where I can be sitting on my couch playing a VR game with them, and I can see them sitting on their couch, and we're all playing together, and we'll be forced to wear underwear, and it'll be. I'm absolutely 100% will do that. Yep.
I like that forced to wear underwear made it on the end there. Does that mean that if I'm talking to you on the internet, you may not have pants on?
You can put money on that. I don't.
Really? Okay. So are you a naked hanger around the house, sir?
Oh, being naked's the best.
Okay. So like right here, I have my hand. Like, what's the last time like your naked butt was here?
This like lunch.
Okay, lunch. All right, there we go. I went up. Okay, well, there we go. That's what I get for asking. Kyle, thank you so much for talking about the people you're thankful for on the internet. Now, we're on to the second. Yeah, you see, we're not done yet.
Oh.
It's time for Instant Noodles, the lightning round. That's right.
Shit.
Yeah, here we go. Going to ask you a few questions. These are questions, some from me, some from fans. We've gotten these from all over the place.
Fan questions for
me?
Not
these are
specifically
these are not specifically for you. We do that sometimes, but we didn't do it this time because
famous as
no, this is just one that we're recording several of these ahead of time. The really busy season is coming, and we're banking a bunch of episodes.
Nice, I'm excited.
So so here we go, getting ready. Number one, my favorite question. This was a fan submitted one. What is best sandwich?
Oh, turkey and cheese sandwich. Turkey, cheese, mustard, provolone cheese, some bacon.
You had that down.
That is my fucking League of Legends handle, is turkey and cheese.
Okay, what's the bread?
I will go Dutch Crunch or like a French roll.
Oh my gosh, excellent answer.
Toast it. Oh, fuck.
What's the best song written in the last 100 years?
Best song in the last 100 years?
Yep. What you got here?
God, I got to go quick, right? I would say just by most addictive, Please Don't Stop the Music by Rihanna.
Okay, Please Don't Stop the Music. In the last 100 years. Be honest, Please Don't Stop the Music.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Jesus.
All right, what's the first word you think of when you hear the sound of your own voice?
Oh, lisp.
Lisp, okay. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh, mint and chip.
Oh, hey, that was the last time I interviewed somebody. That was their answer, too.
Good.
If you could travel through time and meet anybody, who would you visit?
Ooh, that is...
Yep, who are you going to visit?
I'm sorry, I know this is supposed to be fast.
Yeah, it's got to be fast here.
Oh, God. Alexander the Great, that's one of my heroes.
Oh, why Alexander the Great? That's fascinating.
Did so much at such a young age and had such vision and confidence and just... Oh, I want to be that guy.
He was the William Riker of the ancient world.
I don't know what that means, but it's okay. Oh, yeah.
Commander Riker?
I'm sorry. You didn't say Commander. I'm really dumb. I'm not a Star Trek person, actually.
Not a Star Trek person?
I like it when I watch it, but that's what it is.
Not your thing, though. Okay. I can see you in a Starfleet uniform.
I could rock that as long as it's not red.
Yeah, absolutely. The gray ones. I like the gray ones they use in the later movies.
I actually my girlfriend told me that, put it together that red from Orange is the New Black is Commander Janeway. Captain Janeway.
Yeah, Kate Mulgrew.
Is that her name?
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
Yep, Kate Mulgrew. Yeah, I like Kate Mulgrew. I like her a lot. Yeah, the Voyager should have been a good show, but wasn't. But
that's the one that's probably why I didn't get into it, because that's the one that was like actively on TV when I remember engaging.
I tried really hard liking that show. But it was not good.
Strong female characters.
Oh, good characters. Janeway was a fine character. There were several good episodes. There was the one where Q was there, and it was all about like right to die stuff. That was a really good episode.
Oh wow, yeah. Euthanasia. That's a big thing.
Yeah, it was euthanasia episode. It was really good.
Picard? Oh my, Patrick Stewart really into the right to die?
I don't know.
I feel like he is.
I do not know.
I might be completely full of it. I am.
I have no idea. What's the most terrifying creature in the natural world? Yep.
Anything in the ocean.
Anything in the ocean?
Fucking hate the ocean.
Just the whole, like all life in the ocean?
The ocean is terrifying. It's a combination of my only two inherent fears.
What's that?
Heights. I'm so scared of heights, and I'm so scared of pitch black. And the ocean is just somewhere very fucking tall with very dark underneath you. Fuck the ocean. Fuck the ocean.
Amazing.
I hate
and this
the
must
ocean.
have been rough for you too, because you've been around a little bit. Like right now you live in San Francisco on the coast. Mm-hmm. We are blocks from the ocean right now. Before that,
looking at the ocean.
Before that, you lived.
I was born in South Africa.
Right? Were you born on the coast?
Yeah, I was born in Durban, South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
I like being on the beach, but being in the ocean is not cool.
Right. So you're South African. So you're born there on the beach,
yep,
right?
Yep.
Okay. Then you went to
lived in Portugal for 2.5 years.
How far were you from the ocean there?
I was like 3-4 minutes away from the ocean.
Okay, the ocean.
Yep.
And then now over here.
The ocean.
Wow. A man living in contrast with his fears. This explains a lot about you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite word?
Rendezvous.
Oh, great word.
Rendezvous.
Ooh, excellent.
Yeah.
So do you just ever find yourself going like,
it's just such a great...
and I'm through with you?
Yeah,
and then walk
totally.
away?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. I do. It's just such a good word, the way it's spelt, the way you say it.
Yeah.
It's got so many S's and Z's in it, and I'm super self-conscious about my lisp, and
I'm self-conscious about my lisp, too.
I didn't notice you had one. That's okay.
Yo.
I know everyone's like, oh, your lisp isn't noticeable, but I hate it.
No,
Every
me
time
too.
I hear myself,
Same thing. No, I
lisp is such a douchebag word.
It's not. Yeah, it's mean.
Put a fucking S in the word that...
Yeah, I know. Dicks. Who was your first kiss?
Oh, shit. It was one of my sister's friends when I was really young.
I thought you were going to say one of my sisters for a minute. No, I was like, well, we...
No,
okay,
I was young. I might have been about to turn 11, and my sister's like 15, 16-year-old friend kissed me.
Kissed you? Whoa. Mm-hmm. How was it?
With tongue. I was shocked. Yeah. I was just like, what happened?
What is this?
What happened to my face right now? You're real hot and you're older than me, but what's going on? I was a big kid. Like, I was 6 foot when I was 12, so it's not like I was a little shrimpy 11-year-old.
Must have been shocking.
Yeah, it's really fucking weird when you look back at it. I could not have been 16 and make out with an 11-year-old.
That would be problematic.
But I look good.
Cake or pie?
Cake or pie? What kind of pie? Can I clarify this? Are we talking meat pies or fruit pies?
Well, we're talking whatever pies.
Fuck fruit pies, so I will say meat pies. Yes.
Ah, okay, a big meat pie.
Meat pie.
A delicious pasty.
Oh,
perhaps?
God. Or just steak pies, pepper pot pies, chicken pot pies, turkey pot pies. That is God's gift to baking.
Okay, so a pie guy.
Pie guy.
Team
Not
pie.
fruit pies.
Yeah, I like fruit pies.
Not fruit pies. That is in my mind, that is a very American thing, and I am not on board with it.
What about a meat cake?
What the fuck is a meat? Is that like a meatloaf?
No, I'm just thinking what a meat cake would be like.
Is
I don't even know.
Meatloaf a meat cake?
It kind of is, I guess. It does have a little bit of like starch in it.
Is lasagna a meat cake?
Well, if lasagna's a meat cake, I'm all in for meat cake.
I'm fucking on board with meat
Although
cake.
actually I like meatloaf a lot too.
Meatloaf is good. It's got to have a good gravy though.
Yeah, you got to have it just right. Meatloaf's got grilled meatloaf done right is amazing.
I love cooking.
Yeah. What's the one question you asked me?
Oh man.
Yeah, what's one question you want to ask me here on the show?
This is rough. Like, you're gonna put me on the spot. One question.
Well, if you'd watched the show, you'd have known when these were coming.
You were really, really twisting the screws on my guilt. I'm a guilt-ridden man. Okay,
I'm here to cause you pain and suffering.
One question I would ask you. I know you've had a lot of jobs in your life.
I've had a few jobs.
You've had a lot of jobs. What is the job you look back at and you wish you didn't spend as much time at?
Oh, wow. That's a great question.
Fucking twist my screws on you.
Wish I didn't spend.
Yeah, like you wish you had quit or left sooner.
Wish I'd quit left sooner. I had this job. I've had a few bad ones, but I had this job in high school where I worked in a warehouse in what I was too young and dumb to realize were truly awful conditions.
Ooh.
Just awful.
Please elaborate.
It was 106 degrees inside every day. The air was full of moisture pouring in from the dye house as a mist and lint pouring in from the knitting room. So you were covered in the sludge of sweat and old like socks and dirt and grime. And you worked long hours carrying very, very heavy boxes, 80-pound boxes that you stacked up like 4 high. And there wasn't enough room for them. So you're constantly stacking and unstacking and moving them around. And it was stagnant and stinky and it was unsafe.
And young Jared was just in there sweating and lifting everything.
And I mean, I got in better shape than I'd ever been in my whole life. Yeah. And, I was a teenager. Muscle. But I was getting up at 4:30 in the morning to go do this every day during the summer. It was only a few months, and I got some good stories out of it, and I learned a lot doing it. But I think going back, if I could have another 3 months of unadulterated adolescence.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yep. I think I would. I think I would trade that back real fast.
Oh.
Trade all that responsibility, especially since I was really careful with my money.
Yeah.
Banked it all, kept all that money from that job, and then that winter in a snowstorm, I hit my dad's car against a light pole in a parking lot, and all that money was used to pay for the repair, so I never really got to spend any of it.
It builds character, though.
I guess it builds character. So yeah, I think I've had a couple of stinkers. I can think of another job that I really hated, but I think I'd like to have
those 3-4 months.
Those 3-4 months back. Yeah, there was there's a girl I should have gone and found months before, and I could have just spent that whole summer in bliss.
Oh, so. Yeah, adolescent summer love.
Yeah, listen, summer love can be pretty great.
I know.
Yeah, absolutely. Love's pretty great a lot of the time.
Just being positive and being happy. It's a weird culture we're in where it's like a lot of people don't allow themselves in being happy, and it's like if you're feeling happy, bask in that shit. Just
so bask in it.
Enjoy it, love it, be grateful for it, and just
No, you're a friendly, positive dude, Kyle. That's why I like you. I'm really good here.
I'm so happy to hear that because internally I'm a paranoid wreck.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of us. We do our best. People are very kind to me, and they're like, oh, I get a lot of kind praise from people that are like, hey, you're being really positive. Yes, sometimes, but when you're not around, no, not sometimes. I'm doing my best.
Yeah,
but it's hard. We can't all be that way all the time.
That's how I feel. Like I try to be as positive as I can because I've been through some shit. You know what I mean? Like not to like you and I spoke like the death of my sister and moving a lot and being the 6 foot tall redhead kid in a foreign country. Like I've been through some shit. So it's like I try to be positive and have as much of a positive interaction with people as I can, or if I see people having a hard time, I try my best to help in any way I can because I've been the one having a hard time, and a lot of times someone's came and lifted me up. It's
strange how suffering sometimes breeds cruelty, sometimes breeds sympathy, and I don't know what happens different. I don't have an answer to that formula. In me, it's bred cruelty sometimes, and it's bred sympathy sometimes, and I do not know what the deciding thing was.
Oh yeah, I've been hurt or in pain and just been mean before. Yeah, me too. I think the difference is like experiencing that hand. When you're drowning and someone reaches out and pulls you up, and you're like, once you've experienced that, you're like, oh wow, this is an option.
Yeah.
And then you try and do your best for the rest of the people.
That's a really great illustration. So, guys, what do you think? Let us know at mail@pocketsfullofsoup.com. What makes us who we are? How do we become more positive people? Again, mail@pocketsfullofsoup.com. You can also send your stories. We try to keep them short of people you're thankful for. Try to keep that to around 140 character length or so. Just talk about somebody you're thankful for. Let us know really quick. We'll try to read those on the show. Also, please subscribe on YouTube if you can. Everybody begs. There's a reason. It helps. Give us a rating and a review on iTunes if you get a chance, if you're listening there. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Jared Petty. A lot of you have done that already. You can find Patreon exclusive episodes there, as well as exclusive access to Pizza and Dinosaurs Presents The Thirst of Laser Dracula. What
the fuck is that?
If you come to the site,
Pizza and Dinosaurs Present The Thirst of Laser Dracula.
Yeah. Our first episode.
That is like the most clickbaity book title I've ever heard.
Clickbaity?
I don't know. Everything about that's like, what? It just gets better. It's like the 9-year-old in me is like, what? Hold up, what?
Okay. I think it's clickbait if it doesn't deliver on
I hate that
on
phrase.
The thirst of Laser Dracula. But hopefully you're going to get plenty of. The first episode is it was a dark and stormy bite. And it is the story of Laser Dracula and his gnarly laser eyes trying to make it in this difficult modern world.
Okay, so you've got me.
Yeah, all right. So anyway, that's where you find that is on Patreon. Plus, you just help keep the show on the air, and that helps us a lot too. So thank you all. You're an incredible audience. Also, I encourage you to join the Pockets Full of Soup Facebook group, which you can do right now and meet a bunch of really cool people.
Do you have a Twitter handle for Pockets of Soup?
Yeah, it's Pockets of Soup, although you can also just go to @PettyCommaJared.
That's
Pockets of Soup there too. So, now what about you, Kyle? You got anything you want to plug?
Just my Twitter, @Kyle.Kyle. I like
Kyle,
to think
that Kyle?
@Kyle, KYLETHAT, Kyle.
Okay.
That's me.
Kyle, that Kyle.
Yep. That's my handle on everything. I have a YouTube channel, but I haven't got the custom handle yet.
Is there a Kyle, this Kyle out there?
I don't know.
If the two of you both exist, you should have to do an epic battle eventually.
I'd win.
Yeah, Kore and Sore.
Yeah,
right
I would just eat his soul, his heart, and gain his strength.
So our camera just died on us.
Our camera died.
And that's okay. We're at the end of the show. So thank you very much for being here, Kyle.
So is there like a black screen going on right now?
Actually, it's probably a cool logo.
Or credits.
There could be credits. Could be sock puppets.
I'm on board with this. I like
Might be sock puppets pretending to be us. Who knows?
I love it. Yeah, make sure mine's extra sexy.
I will do my best. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Kyle, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, good night.
Bye.